friends, welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Kat and today I'm showing you this makeup look, which is my go-to makeup look for when I just need to look put together, I need to look pretty and feel pretty, and I need it to last all day. I kind of talk you through why I choose the certain things that I do, my thought processes behind this kind of look, and yeah, why it is my go-to standard. Don't get me wrong, I love colourful eyeshadow, I love bright eyeshadow, I love dark, grungy, colourful eyeshadow looks, but sometimes I just need to look and feel great and know that it's gonna look and feel great throughout an entire day. And this is sort of usually what I go for. So if you'd like to see me create this look, just keep on watching. Okay, so as mentioned in the intro, we are just doing my sort of go-to makeup look for when I need it to just look good. I need to feel confident, because don't get me wrong, I will happily wear a blue smoky eye, green halo eye. Like I love being very experimental with my makeup, but usually that's planned ahead. If I'm going to be wearing something like that, especially to go out, it's usually like, oh, this is the outfit I'm going to wear and this is the makeup I'm going to do to go with it. But this is very much my I know I need to look good for an entire day. I needed to go with whatever I'm going to wear, and this is what I do, which is basically mustardy browns and golds on the lid and red lips. That is my standard. It does make me feel like my most confident. It was the makeup look I always went for, especially before I got quite, not experimental with makeup, but more confident with it, and felt a lot more comfortable wearing bright, colourful makeup out as well. I definitely always used to wear browns, golds, mustards and red lipstick. That was pretty much all I wore. So when I wear it, I do feel very me, because it's still got that element of grunge to it, but it is very put together. It can be very classy. Why did I say that like that? It can be quite classy, it can be quite elegant, I guess. This is something that I like to wear to work quite a lot, so I just wanted to show you my like standard, you need to look good and you need to look good for the whole day kind of look. So that's what we are going to do. I'm just going to quickly clip this fringe back whilst we do some base. Ooh. So I am using some things that are in my bi-weekly makeup bag, but I am also pulling out some different things. So I am going to be using my MAC Face and Body. This is my favourite foundation, so it's definitely the one that I would go for. It wears very graciously, like it wears off really nicely. It doesn't just like smudge, and I think that's because it's such a sheer coverage that you're not going to get like gaps where foundation used to be. It just kind of will look a bit more skin, you just see a bit more of your skin, you know what I mean? I'm not a full coverage foundation kind of person anyway. I never have been. I prefer like a sheer coverage, which is why I love this foundation so much, because all it really does is, you know, even out the skin tone, even out the texture a little bit, just kind of makes me look a little bit more awake, because I do have quite red skin, so it kind of just gets rid of that redness. Another thing I find for me is if I'm going to be wearing makeup all day, I don't often put a lot of coverage underneath my eyes, because I've got quite creasy under eyes and quite dry under eyes. So I just find the more product I put there, the more cakey and crusty it'll get after a few hours. So I usually just leave that kind of blank. I just put like a tiny bit there. Like you often see me in my videos, I will add just a little bit more underneath my eyes. I usually just skip that step if I'm going to be wearing the makeup all day because it will just get all creasy and just not particularly nice underneath there. Usually I don't usually have acne, so it's not something I've had to be concerned about before, but I find the less I put on, the better, because sometimes, like, I would be wearing, like, for instance, when I was working, I would put like quite thick concealer on, or like a good few layers of foundation or whatever, and then I would find that it would just wear off really unflatteringly, and I'd end up just with like big red patches, and then everything around would look very flat because of the concealer. So I would rather just put like a very minimal amount over it, so when it does fade kind of naturally, it's not such a stark difference between like where you have face product and where there is no longer face product. Does that make sense? I hope it does, but that's my kind of thought process behind like the skin. As always for brows, I'm just using a bit of clear brow gel. This is the Makeup Revolution Volume and Sculpt in clear. They have a new one that's like, I can't remember what it's called, but it's more of like it'll stick your brows up. It's like soap brows in a bottle, and I think I'm gonna go for that when this runs out, because this just doesn't really give me any sort of hold or anything. I just like it. It makes my hairs look a tiny bit thicker. Okay, so for complexion, I like to go for something very warm, very glowy, very summery. That's just like my favorite kind of bronzer, blush, highlight kind of situation. So for my bronzer, of course, I'm gonna use my Nabla Skin Bronzing in Ambra. This is a lovely like baked gelée kind of formula. It's very soft and buildable. It has a really beautiful sheen to it as well. It's a lovely colour. I just am such a huge fan of this bronzer. I have another sort of baked bronzer that's from Makeup Revolution. It's in the shade Holiday Romance. I do really like it. I think it's a really good affordable alternative, but I definitely prefer this. I think it wears a lot better, and I would honestly be happy with just having this and the Milk Makeup Bronzing Stick. So I have a powder and a cream bronzer, and then just having those, I would be more than happy like that. I don't know, I just find like the only products that I want a lot of, or like not necessarily want a lot of, but I want variety with, is like blush, eyeshadow and lipstick. Like foundation, bronzer, highlighter, brow products, I'm not really that interested. I like having a lot of eyeliners, but that's less for like, I don't know, like I have a lot of eyeliners in the same formula, just different colours, because I like to pair them with, but I guess that's just nothing. Or like mascaras. I don't care about having multiple mascaras. I just want one that I really like. And I know that like a lot of YouTubers or like people that make beauty content, sometimes it feels like there's like a pressure that you should be like trying everything and you should have all this variety and every video you should use a different product. But then to me that's like, but then how, I'm not going to trust your review of it or like your opinion of it if it's something that you've just used once. Or do you know what I mean? Like I much prefer watching YouTubers that use the same things over and over again, because then you can trust that they love those items. Do you know what I mean? Like a really good example is Geordie from It's So Like Me Makeup. She always uses like the same like mascara and the same brow products, and you see her use the same foundations a lot. And she's like a big makeup artist as well, so she probably gets a lot of PR, but she uses the same things. So this is the Nabla Skin Glazing in Ozone. I love this highlighter so much. Again, it's that same kind of like baked formula. it gives such a nice sheen on the cheeks. It's not super glittery, it's not super sparkly. Find if you use it with a fluffier, softer brush, you will get more of like a sparkly kind of glittery highlight. If you use a dense brush like I do, I couldn't tell you where this brush is from, I've had it for years, it gives it more of like that sheeny look, which I much prefer. I prefer highlighters that have more of a golden or like champagne undertone than something with a pink undertone. I find it just flatters me a lot better. It goes better with all of the other things that I like to wear on my face. So definitely if I want it on all day, then that is something that I'd rather go for. Occasionally I might use like an eyeshadow as a highlighter if I want something to go with like an eyeshadow look. Like I could use like a blue iridescent eyeshadow as a highlighter to go with like a blue look. Not often that I do that anyway, but I just find I would rather do that than buy a blue highlighter that I will use once in a blue moon. Does that make sense? I think I was saying about this as well, for blush, it's great to use eyeshadow as blush, because if you're someone like me who doesn't really wear pink blush, or like I don't very often wear like berry toned blush, if I want to, I can use an eyeshadow instead of buying a blush for the rare occasion that I would want to use that. So there you go, there's a little tip for you. So speaking of blush, I'm going to use my Isn't It Peachy palette from Makeup Obsession. This shade in the middle here, Hint, is my favourite blush shade ever. I will always reach into this if I just want my makeup to look good. I will always go for Hint. It's the perfect like orangey, coral, peachy, I don't even know how to describe it. I just absolutely love it. It's my favourite blush. I think it's so flattering. And I always put quite a lot of blush on just because blush fades quite quick on me, so I like to pile it on and then it will fade down during the day. Kind of go back with all my brushes and sort of blend everything, so I want it to be like just colour across the cheek rather than like bronzer, blush, highlight, you know what I mean? I don't want lines, I want it just to be like a flush all across the cheeks. So that's pretty much all I do for my face. Sometimes I will add some freckles back in, which I don't think I'm going to do today. I think the coverage is sheer enough across my nose that you can still see them. I feel like I'm getting new freckles like every single day, because sometimes I'll think I have something on my face but it's just a freckle, which is great. If I want my makeup to last all day and look good, I have to prime my eyes. There are times where I'm lazy and I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna throw some eyeshadow on. I can't. My eyelids get so oily. It's weird because I don't have oily skin. I have kind of, I wouldn't say it's dry, I'd say it's very normal. I have very normal skin type, but the only place I get oily is my eyelids. Sometimes my forehead, but my eyelids just like oil central. So I have to use an eyeshadow primer or I will get crazy creasing. The eyeshadow will just come off most of the time, and I use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. I have used this for years, absolutely years. I have tried other eyeshadow primers and this one is the only one that really works for me. Originally I did set it with a powder, but I don't know whether because this is quite old, this one, maybe the formula's changed, I don't know, but now I don't have to set it. I used to have to, but now I don't, and I just find that it just makes my eyeshadow stay so much better. I'm not really like a face primer person, but eyeshadow primer I do absolutely swear by. Okay, so let's zoom in and do the eyes. Hi, so I'm going to be using the W7 24 karat Gold Rush palette. This is a Natasha Denona Gold dupe. I've showed it so many times on my channel. I really like it. I like the mustardy tones. Mustardy tones are definitely something that I usually go for when it goes to eyeshadow. I am going to use this. I will show you, hang on. The other palette I used to use all the time was my Sosu and Kaylee Urban Bible palette. I have now completely depotted it and it is in this palette, or like all the mattes are in this palette and the shimmers are in another palette. But this shade, which is in the palette, is called Savior. This was what I used to use all the time. You can see that big dip in there. And this is definitely, you know, when I make little palettes that I'm gonna take with me traveling or anything like that, this is always gonna be one that I put in. I think it's such a nice mustardy brown, and I think that just works best for me. I did decide to permanently depot that palette just because it's discontinued and I don't think anybody really has it. So I just decided to just completely depot it. So the shade that I'm gonna go with is called Mega. It's this one here. It's like a mustardy brown, so it's very similar to Savior. I'd say this is just a little tiny bit more brown, so a little bit less mustardy. We do have a mustard in here, but I think I'm gonna go for the brown. It's just what I do. I'm just gonna take it on a big fluffy brush and I'm going to just build it and do just a halo of this shade all the way around my eyes. And as I said, like, I am a colourful gal. I love colourful eyeshadow, but if I want, you know, just to feel really confident, know that my makeup is gonna look good, then just a mustardy brown is what I really like to go for. And I do like to make it quite smoky and grungy, like it's still got that nice grungy element to it. I'm not often like a soft glam kind of person, you know. So there we go, that's just what I go for, a nice rounded shape, nice and blown out. And now I'm gonna go into a darker brown. This is the shade High Life here. It's just a touch darker. I find this dark brown is just a little bit too cool toned. I like to keep this quite warm. And again, that like mustardiness. So I'm just gonna take a dark, just a slightly darker brown and pop that in here. The only reason I'm doing this is because I am going to put shimmer on the lid. If I was just going to do an all matte look, which I do quite often when I do it like this, I would just put the same first brown all over the lid as well. I wouldn't put the dark brown. But I just find when I have a shimmer on the lid, I do like the outer corners just to be a little bit more defined. Right, so I am now going to pop some glitter glue all across my lid, and I am going to do this in like a cut creasy fashion. I love just putting shadow just like right across the lid, very blown out, but there's something about a half cut crease shape that just makes my eyes look really pretty. I'm not sure why, so that's just what I usually go for. I will go for more of a defined shape. So I just use NYX glitter glue to do the shape. And then the shade that I'm going to go into this shade here, which is called Good As. It's a really nice gold with like a peachiness to it. I don't know how else to describe it. It's really nice. Sometimes I would go for something like Loaded, but I think if I was to wear Loaded, I would more likely go for a nude lip. although it is a great bright antique gold. I'm gonna go in with that Good As shade just on the brush to define the shape, and then I'll go back in with my finger because these shadows are very softly pressed, so they're quite hard to pick up on a brush. Now I'm just going to go in with my finger to really pick it up and really punch it in. And I kind of wiggle it at the end here to blend it in. So yeah, that's what I will do. I usually will then go in with whatever face highlighter I've used and pop this in the inner corner. I am actually going to use the shade Goldie in this palette, which is this one at the top here. It's a really gorgeous, like sheer but bright gold. It's so pretty, so I'm just going to pop that in the inner corner. I like to bring it down to the front of my lower lash line. I find that that really helps as well with fading. If you find like eyeshadow or like your mascara crumbling, having that little bit of shimmer there, you can kind of just like smudge and it just looks really good. So just pop that in there. I'm going to quickly pop off camera and do the other eye and put on some mascara and some eyeliner. I'm just going to use a nude in my waterline, and then I will come back and we will do some lipstick. Okay, so that is the eyes all finished. I did find that once I put the gold on both eyes, I just needed to like just intensify the brown a little bit more, so I just went and put another layer all the way around just to kind of darken it a little bit. So yeah, I know it's very simple, I know it's nothing revolutionary, I know it's, I guess, kind of boring, but it's really pretty. Like, you can't deny that it's just pretty. I think it really emphasizes the shape of my eyes. The mustardy tones in the browns helps make my eyes look really green. I just really like it. And again, this isn't something that I want to look like crazy cool or anything like that. I just need something that will just look good. That will just look good through the day, and I know that I look good in. That's basically what we're doing here. So for eyeliner, I just popped in the Wet n Wild Rosé Nude, I think it's called. Oh no, Rosé Naturel eyeliner. And the Mascara Revolution from Makeup Revolution is the mascara I've popped on. One thing you'll find if you don't set your face like I don't, so if you were like for some reason following along this tutorial, if you were, thank you, you might find that the mascara will kind of transfer underneath your eyes. My favorite thing is, because it's not set, you can just wipe it and it comes off. That's one of the reasons why I like not setting my face, because I find if you do get like spots of mascara, you can't get it off as easy. Whereas like you can just kind of like rub it away and it goes. Okay, now we're moving on to lips. Right now I am wearing the Barry M Lip Rehab Nourishing Lip Mask. Oh my God, I bought this because I had placed an order on some website, maybe Superdrug, and I was trying to get it up to, so I got free postage, and this is amazing. This is the only lip balm I've ever found that actually has like got rid of my cracked lips, and it's really thick and really nourishing. So I only have to reapply this maybe like twice a day if I'm not wearing anything, because it just lasts really well. I put it on before bed and my lips feel really, really soft in the morning. If I'm not wearing anything on my lips, this is what I will pop on, and I'm really, really enjoying it, and it's only a couple of pounds. So I'm just gonna wipe this off. Now, lips. As I've mentioned many times through this video, we are doing a red lip. Now, most people, when they want their makeup to last all day, will probably recommend or go for a liquid lipstick, which is completely fair enough. A liquid to matte lipstick does last very well. My issue with liquid lipsticks is the reapplication. I find with a lot of liquid lipsticks, the reapplication is terrible. It just gets so thick and gloopy and flaky and crusty, and I would just rather avoid that completely. So I personally prefer matte bullet lipsticks. I'm a bullet lipstick girl through and through. I love bullet lipsticks. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples of things that I really like. So I have a few of my bullet red lips, and also I have this one from Meme Box. It's a Korean beauty brand, and this is the Mystery Blur Tint in Mystery Juju. This isn't a liquid lipstick, it's like a liquefied lipstick, if that makes sense. It's very moussey, it doesn't dry down, it's very matte, it's like, it is a blurred lip kind of thing, but it doesn't dry like a liquid lipstick. It reapplies really, really nice. So I'll show this one in a minute, because that might be the one I land on, because I think this will work. Anyway, ignore me. So if I was to go for like a bright lip, I have two options. I have the Glossier Generation G lipstick in Zip. This is definitely more of like a sheer formula. It's really great for summer. I love this. It builds up really well, but it is more of like a sheer tint. Then I have the CYO matte lipstick in the shade Tune. This is still available, but not for long. I don't know how long the brand is being fully discontinued. I have a backup of this lipstick because I love it so much, and I'm tempted to buy a couple more just before the brand completely discontinues. But that's more of like a bright orangey red, which I think would look great with this. Then I have the Nabla Soft Touch lipstick in the shade Masterpiece. This is more of like a classic kind of blue toned red. And then these last ones, which are my favorite types of red. This is the MAC Powder Kiss lipstick in the shade Devoted to Chili. And you'll be able to see it's more of like a brown toned red, which is definitely my favorite kind of red. And then this is the Meme Mystery Blur Tint in the shade Mystery Juju. Again, that more like brown toned red. I love a good bright red, but most of the time what I want to go for is this kind of like bricky, burnt brown red. So I think what I'm going to go for is this Mystery Blur Tint one. So this is the Blur Tint. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love this color so much. There's something about like a muted red that I just absolutely adore, and I think it's, although it is like, it's a bold lip, it's a red lip, because it's that kind of muted brown lip, it's less like, I don't know, intense, I guess. If you're someone who is a bit scared of bold lips, or wants to dip their toes into red lipstick but doesn't quite know where to start, a brown toned red is something I definitely would recommend. So this formula is super creamy, super soft, and the thing I prefer with bullet lipsticks as well, the reapplication process is a lot better because it's usually more emollient, so you can just put another layer on top and it will be fine, but it's a lot easier to just take off and start again if that's what you need to do. Whereas with liquid lipsticks, you need to take with you like a makeup wipe, or what I've done many times in the past, which is scrub it off with Blue Roll and water, which isn't great. But yeah, this is the finished look. Let's finish this video up. This is my go-to, I just want to feel pretty, I want to feel good, I need it to last all day makeup look. But yeah, that is the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe, that'd be really cool. As always, eat good, drink good, take care of yourself, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!